Hello, and thank you for joining us on this sunny Monday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, and here's a look at some of the top stories we're following today. First, a new survey finds many couples are keeping secrets about money. We take a closer look at why some people commit financial infidelity. Plus, an old motel in Conway will soon be a new emergency shelter. Now, officials look to help families and children who have no other place to go. And Israel's war against Hamas rages on. Now, as the death toll surpasses 26,000, Israel is pushing deeper into Gaza with no end in sight to the war. But first, we have a look at weather, a week we've all been waiting for. In fact, meteorologist Simone Thomas is getting a head start outside. Simone, how's it feeling out there?
You know, since I'm sitting in the shade here in the garden, I can't get all of the benefits of the sun, but the sky is a beautiful, beautiful blue. So I'm sure if you step outside and you're not under the shade, you'll get to soak in more of those vitamin D benefits. But we've been asking for some weeks at this point, and we finally got some calmer weather in store this week. Here today, expecting the sunshine to continue through the rest of the afternoon. Highs climbing to more of the upper 50s, lower 60s. We're around the middle 50s currently, so we have a few more degrees to go, but as we continue through the next several days, lots of sunshine this week. So if you've been missing out on that vitamin D, you've got plenty of opportunity for that. With the mild temperatures continuing, now that next chance of rain is coming this weekend. We'll talk more about that later on in the show, but in the meantime, I'm going to sit out here and I'm going to enjoy the sunshine while we have it.
All right, Simone, thank you. We begin with the THB 11 update from Phillips County, where people are nearing 2 weeks without running water. West Helena city officials tell us some people still don't have flowing water, and many are under a mandatory boil order. On Friday, a truck delivering 40,000 pounds of water rolled into town for residents provided by FEMA, the Arkansas and Oklahoma Departments of Emergency Management, and the Arkansas Food Bank. Officials do have a long-term plan in place now to address the more than 50-year-old water system. To speed up that project, though, Governor Sarah Sanders just requested that the state's Natural Resources Commission expedite approval of a $100,000 loan. And another THB 11 update, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office has made an arrest in a shooting investigation turned homicide. We first told you about the shooting at Hilero Springs on Saturday. 18-year-old Juan Ruiz was arrested yesterday and charged with capital murder. Officials say the victim, who will remain unnamed because they're a minor, was shot outside his house and later died from his injuries. The sheriff's office in Johnson County, Arkansas, has also arrested a Texas homicide suspect. Jeremy Gladden is facing charges in Texas. The sheriff's office contacted Johnson County last week asking for help finding a stolen truck. Deputies not only found the truck, but they also found Gladden nearby. He's now in jail waiting to be extradited to Texas. Well, Valentine's Day is just a couple of weeks away, and it turns out many couples are being unfaithful when it comes to money. Kristen Lazar explains.
How long have you guys been together?
11 years.
12 years.
12 years. Oops.
Married couple Ted Toussaint and Hillary Reynolds may not be on the same page about everything, but they are when it comes to money. Are you always honest about your finances with your spouse?
Yes, I am actually. We both are. We've had to be really transparent.
A new survey reveals that's not the case for many couples.
We found that 42% of people who are currently married or living with their romantic partner have kept a financial secret from that person.
Ted Rossman from Bankrate says 30% admit spending more than their spouse or partner would approve of. 19% said they have a secret savings account, and 18% acknowledged having a secret credit card. Gen Zers are most likely to commit financial infidelity, followed by more than half of millennials. The numbers are lower for Gen Xers and baby boomers.
I think also the fact that people are getting married later is leading people to get more entrenched in their habits, and especially in two-income couples.
Rossman says honesty is the best policy.
I think you do need to manage money collectively, but you could each carve out a little bit of money from every paycheck that's yours and yours alone as long as you've agreed on those parameters.
Rossman also recommends couples sit down regularly and go over the finances to make sure there are no surprises. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, interesting. And the survey also says that sometimes people hide money, saying they want to save it, but are worried that their spouse or partner will actually spend it. Well, the tax season officially opens today, and the IRS is now accepting returns. Officials anticipate close to 129 million individual returns this year and say that most refunds will be processed within 21 days. The IRS does have a free file option for people with an adjusted gross income of $79,000 or less. This year, there's a new software pilot program being offered in 12 states called Direct File, opening to qualifying taxpayers in mid-March.
Your eligibility for direct file does not depend on your income. It just depends on the complexity of your tax return. For this first year, the more simple your tax return, the more likely you are to be eligible.
Well, you can find more information about direct file and other options at irs.gov. The city of Conway is about to have a new emergency shelter for families and children with no other place to go. THV11's Brooke Buckner shows us how the organization behind it plans to help those experiencing homelessness get back on their feet.
Child homelessness is a really unseen issue.
That's why Conway Ministry Center is working to give them a temporary home.
We recently purchased this motel in order to convert it into our area's first emergency shelter for families with children.
And by emergency shelter, Executive Director Spring Hunter says it's meant to be a last-minute place to house a family with nowhere else to go.
Our homeless coalition serves 5 counties, and currently in those 5 counties, if you become homeless tonight with your kids because of eviction or a house fire or any of the other reasons that somebody might find themselves homeless, there's nowhere to go check in and stay tonight.
But the refuge shelter will serve that purpose for our most vulnerable population.
We have really great partnerships locally where if we were able to house someone for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that we would be able to get them on the waiting list for transitional programs and really dive into case management services and allow them to stabilize, but they really need that emergency stay.
Hunter says, according to a May of 2023 homeless count, nearly 1,000 children were considered homeless in Faulkner County schools.
These are folks that are staying in, sometimes they might stay in a hotel, they're sleeping in cars often, they might be bouncing from house to house, staying where they can. And so you just don't see it as much, but it is a huge issue in Arkansas.
She says having this 22-unit shelter will serve as their safe place to regroup and have access to resources with hopes of getting out of homelessness. It will also help those in need of medical services.
And we can get them connected with those services and start the process of hopefully rehousing them and getting them set up with home health and whatever else they need.
In Conway, Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
And renovations to the motel are the next step for the organization. Hunter hopes to open the shelter within the next year. Well, January is Birth Defects Awareness Month. 1 in 33 U.S. babies are affected each year. Coming up, how to reduce the risk of having a baby born with a birth defect. Simone?
And we've got plenty of sunshine continuing through the afternoon. I'll have a check-in on the rest of the week right after this break.